Hey friends, welcome to a new video, and it's the new year, so happy new year. And who doesn't want to start the new year, right? So if you thought to yourself, I want to be a little bit more minimalistic this year, then this video is just for you. Today I'm going to share with you guys 5 tips on how to implement minimalism into your life right now. If you guys don't know what minimalism is, don't worry, I have a video explaining what minimalism is to me. I'll link that above right now. And also don't worry, it's not as extreme or as scary as it sounds. And if you're new here, I'm Sylvia from Catchy Cravings, and I'd love to inspire you and help you master healthy eating, but also healthy living. So if that is something that sounds fantastic and interesting, make sure to subscribe down below for more weekly videos. Also, make sure that you stick until the end of this video because I'm going to be sharing a bonus tip number 6 with you. So tip number 1 is to keep your surfaces clear of anything, any clutter, anything that doesn't belong there. I have kind of a rule of mine that everything that I have needs to have a home somewhere where it belongs. For one, that makes tidying just so much easier. Everything has a place, you know where to put it. And also, secondly, it kind of prevents you from buying extras and knickknacks and clutter that just starts piling up somewhere on a random table that you have. Also, having these surfaces clear makes for a clear mind and a more calmer state. So this has pluses all around. Then tip number 2 is to work with what you have. A lot of the times commercials kind of tell you, you need this to be successful, you need that to be happy, you need something else to be loved, but all that is mostly not true. You definitely do not need that flowery dress to relax on the beach. You do not need that anti-aging vitamin E face mask. It's pretty much just marketing. So what I like to do is to get creative and to think whether I can use things that I already have to satisfy that need. So for example, I filled a tiny little jar with some body lotion and I put that on my bedside table to kind of moisturize my hands with, because why not use the body lotion? Because now I don't need to buy that extra hand cream and it works just as well. Or in my home, I use an empty plant pot, flipped it over and put another pot on top to use kind of as a plant stand, and that works just as well. I didn't need to go and buy something like that. So using what you already have in your home really challenges you to think differently, to think more creatively, and it really saves on money and resources that are needed. And with that, every time you want to buy something, I really encourage you guys to pause before purchasing. Oftentimes we get this rush and this excitement when we see this new product and we think to ourselves, I've got to have this. And most of the times those are those impulse buys that are not that smart. What I like to do is I like to pause before buying those non-essential items. So I typically wait for at least a day overnight, but oftentimes also a few days, few weeks, even a few months if it is a bigger purchase. And what that does is it really kind of takes you away from that initial adrenaline rush. And even after those few days, you come back to that item, oftentimes you don't really want it that much anymore. And with this method, I've saved so much money and so much clutter that I did not buy because I stepped back, thought about it, and then came to my senses that this is not something that I actually need or want that badly. And if after a few days or weeks I come back and I still really want that item and I know that I've thought about it, then I'll just get it. Another method I'm a big fan of is the one in, one out method. So as the name says, the whole concept is kind of to replace items in your home. So with this method, you kind of control the amount of things that you have. You replace things that have either been used up, maybe like toothpaste or tissues, or you replace things that might have been broken. But be careful not to use this method to revamp your whole entire home and just throw things out just to get something new. If you truly hate those shoes that you might have and you're so unhappy wearing those every single day, then try to maybe resell them. It's such a waste to just throw out things that are perfectly fine. Try to resell those, and once you've sold them, then you can allow yourself those new pair of shoes. Now, tip number 5 is not to do those trends. Trends are things that come and go, and with that, our liking of that trend will also come and go. Whether we're conscious or not, we're actually all somewhat influenced by those trends. So it's better to stay away from those trends. And because trends come and go, the likelihood of you not liking it anymore once it isn't in trend is pretty big. And that is not something we want. As minimalists, we do want to kind of use things with a long-term purpose in mind or a long-term goal. So personally, what I like to do is I like to stick to the basics, whether it's clothes or colors or design, just things that are really classical. I personally feel like I gravitate back to those year after year, so that is what I'm going to stick to. So these were my 5 super simple tips you can implement right away on minimalism. Hopefully this will get you started nicely, and make sure to stick to the end because I do have another bonus tip for those of you that do make it there. And if you found this helpful or found this interesting, then make sure to give it a thumbs up. That really helps me out. And if you'd like to further support me, you can do so on Patreon. Over there, I have more personal videos for those of you that want to become family and want to get to know me better. I'll leave the link for that down below. And now for the bonus tip. So when you do want to spend your money in meaningful things, I really encourage you guys to spend it in experiences. Firstly, it's not clutter that's going to lie around in your home, take up space, but instead it's kind of like an investment into yourself, or if you're doing the experience with someone else, an investment into that relationship. How I like to think about it is an experience is something that no one can take from you. It is something that will be with you for the rest of your life, and it's something that will broaden your horizons, enrich your life, and it's just all in all positives, and you'll make fantastic memories, gain new knowledge. I'm just a huge fan of doing new experiences, but you guys will know that if you watch my videos. So yeah, that was my bonus tip, and that is this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next week in my new video. Bye!